Bees Golf Studio presents Tip It Out Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brandon, Blake, and Noah.
What's up, everybody? Just episode 10, hole 10, however you want to do it. We got Alex on here. We're going to talk a little about U.S. Open and everything with him getting into that and section events and qualifying for it. Pretty special guest. Glad he's back on with us. But let's get into it. The Memorial. Scotty taking 5 wins this season, getting a good win after having a triple and just being godly. He's just disgustingly good at this game. And it makes me want to vomit. But let's get into that.
In the comments, rate whether Blake could ever do the intro again.
If anybody ever listens to this, please comment, like, and subscribe. We need it bad.
Yeah, no, good tournament. Fun to watch. I was kind of disappointed with my boy Victor Hovland. He decided to shoot like 6 over on Saturday. That really hurt me in our one and done pools. I dropped down to 3rd place after this week, so that kind of sucks. But no, it's fun. You've said it multiple podcasts. The hard golf is so fun to watch.
So fun to watch.
I love it. I love watching them grind. If you're anybody that bets, I'm sure it's very hard to bet because anybody can blow up at any time and it can completely ruin everything.
I don't bet.
But yeah, I'm excited to see back. What?
I said I don't bet, but if I did, I definitely didn't take Xander Schauffele to finish top 5 going into the last round.
Damn. What did he finish?
I don't know, like 11th.
Hmm.
All I had to do was shoot even in the last round, and he would have got 4th.
Damn. I'm just excited to see the back-to-back grind out stuff. We'll get into the U.S. Open a little bit more, but I'm excited to see people struggle. It's always fun to see human aspects out of them. But isn't it? Let's just talk about Scotty. Every time I talk about Scotty, I have to calm myself down a little bit because it's still not Tiger in the early 2000s. And we can debate that all you want, but the stats speak for themselves. The facts speak for themselves. So it's an insane run that we're witnessing right now, and I'm loving every aspect of it. But if you're not a big Scotty Scheffler fan, are you just pissed off every week? Is it hard to watch golf anymore if you're not a Scotty Scheffler fan? Granted, there's probably not very many of those out there.
It's hard not to be a Scotty fan. I think
He does everything right.
Yeah,
it's
fun to watch.
It's kind of boring. He's not picking up waitresses and still getting first place.
You're right. It's not like he got arrested a couple weeks ago or anything. So
Tiger wannabe trying to get arrested.
It's hard. It's hard
Rory
to say.
get forced.
It's hard to say he's boring when he just does a freaking twirl after every swing he makes. But yeah, the Rory shit's crazy.
With Amanda Balionis.
Those rumors
It's got to be real, right?
So fun.
Dude.
So, Brandon, how do you what makes you think that it's not Tiger-esque right now?
Okay, so obviously the
Good question.
as far as we're always fact checking Blake. Now we're trying to fact check me a little bit. But no, it's just I've seen all the stats and I'll pull it up on my phone. That is it sticks in the back of my head and it lives rent free when I see Scotty do this right now, and it's absolutely incredible, dominant. I'm loving every minute of it, but it gives me I wish I was about 10 years older to witness the Tiger time as well and truly appreciate it. Obviously, I was alive during that, but I didn't truly understand and appreciate what was going on. I just knew that he was the greatest golfer, and I'm trying to find.
So the stat that I
It's
saw,
like he's got
that's-
to be number one for the next like 8 years.
yeah,
Beat his
11.
record, whatever it is, and like the scoring average at like 7, and I'm completely wrong on this, but like roughly like 70.8. He's number 8 out of the top 10, and the rest of them are Tiger. Like Tiger was just at a different. I mean, you could say his competition was different, whatever, but and the courses are a little different. But scoring average and the dominance is just that's god tier, and I think we're at go. Okay, Scotty's like could be a goat, but Tiger's a god.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess that's true. I mean, Scotty, you could say that you could go through scoring average, but then you could also go like I guess it's how do you compare it? If you compare it to the last 10 events, I think it's Tiger-esque because like his win percentage was better than Tiger's throughout his career. He's getting the same. It's basically him versus the field in every bet that you make.
Yeah.
That's kind of Tiger-esque a little bit. But I agree with you. Tiger looked a lot different when he was doing it. The aura around Tiger, the shots that he was hitting, the putts that he was making. Scotty, it's almost kind of annoying that Scotty doesn't really look flashy. It doesn't really look like very hard.
Yeah.
Tiger would get in spots that he would do incredible things out of, but Scotty never really gets to show that, I guess. And that's kind of why I think Tiger's Tiger. But I think if for any golf fan, I think it's more incredible that Scotty literally just hits every fairway, every green. He doesn't necessarily hit it like 3 feet from the hole every single time, but he just doesn't make bogeys.
The crazy stat that I saw, and I mean, take this for granted, Scotty was 8 under in the tournament, the Memorial. He made one putt outside of 10 feet.
Yeah. All week?
All week. Week made one putt outside of 10 feet and was 8 under. That's disgusting.
And it's not like he just made 8 birdies and the rest pars. Like he had a lot of birdies.
He had a triple. He had like just think about that. Like one putt outside of 10 feet and he ended at 8 under par is gross. Like ball striking is outrageous. And like that's the other thing. You watch like the TaylorMade YouTube videos and you see Tommy, you see Rory, and you see like those TaylorMade guys. And they're like, hey, we need you to hit this ball off the toe. And you see the center of the face, and it's barely on that line on the center of the face of the driver off the toe. And you have Scotty go up there, and they're like, okay, hit this off the toe. And he will hit it off the very end of the toe. Just has that much control of the club head. It's insane. So I think it's definitely Tiger-esque in that sense of I don't think we'll ever see anyone like Tiger in the way of winning tournaments and just being that much better than everybody. But knowing that there's a Colin Morikawa and that there's a Ludwig and that there's a Hideki and a whoever else you want to think of. A Carson Schaake, like all these guys out there, and he's just winning. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's definitely like early onset Tigers where we're at right now, right? Like he's not quite there. It's just early onset. Like he sustains. It's crazy. The stat that I wanted to find that was kind of nuts. That was like, and like I said, don't quote me on it, but it was like to win like 5 total tournaments, one being a major and like a players or something all in the same year. And it's like him and Tiger were the only ones to ever do it. And Scotty did it in like 21 or whatever his big year was. And then it was like Tiger Woods list. It was like 2000, 2001, 2002, 2006, 2007, 2008. And it was just like unreal. And I don't think we truly appreciate how long it lasted for Tiger. Like this is unreal of what he's doing now. Yeah. But next year could be a completely different ball game where he wins twice a year, 3 times a year.
But I don't want that to take away from like not appreciating what Scotty's doing right now.
Yeah, I feel like all kind of just waiting because we know golf. We're just kind of waiting for that time where Scotty isn't in the top 10 for like 3 or 4 tournaments in a row, and then we kind of go on to the next person. And when Tiger was playing, it wasn't like that. You just knew that he was going to play well. And we know Scotty's going to play well right now, but it always happens that he'll probably go in a rut here in like a year, in a rut, whatever, whatever that means. But he probably won't be winning as much. But if he does, then, I mean, you got to start to kind of question how great
for sure.
he compared. But I agree with you.
Can we talk about this real fast?
No.
We've had enough of listening to you blabber your mouth. But
he's hosting.
Can we talk about how like none of the best players right now are at the top of strokes gained putting?
I'm looked at that.
Didn't notice that.
So here's
your top 5.
Here's the top 10, honestly. Top 10 is Taylor Montgomery, Denny McCarthy, Aaron Badley, Billy Horschel, Alexander York, Taylor Pendrith, Peter Malnati, Christian Bezadenhout, Jason Day, Bo Hostler.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show how much the PGA Tour has turned into a ball striking tour.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Like if those guys were playing on the Corn Ferry Tour, they would be the top 10. They would win every week. Like, that's just how it is. But when you have tournaments like the Memorial and Bay Hill and the Players and the Masters and stuff like that, like, you got to kind of look and see that, like, hitting the green, putting in the right spot, making pars is actually a lot better than making a lot of bogeys and a lot of birdies.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is how is that skewed in any way based on how many like greens that they've hit? Like a guy that's constantly hitting greens and has 15 to 20 feet for birdie, and lagging it up there to 1 or 2 feet. Granted, a guy that's maybe making 8-footers for par or 10-footers for par, like obviously their strokes gained putting is a lot better because they're a little bit closer to the hole, I guess, so to sense. Because like those 8-footers probably boost a lot more than a 3-footer for par or 2-footer for par. Mm-hmm. So I just don't think they're hitting it close enough to be really getting, like, they're gaining strokes because they're making that 5 to 10 foot range just a lot more because they have more putts of those. But
yeah. And I guess the par 5s too. I mean, those, it just goes to show how good those guys are on the par 5s. I mean, they're hitting the greens under regulation and 2 putting. So it's like that kind of skews the stats a little bit because they're hitting it so well.
Yeah.
And these days, like, it feels like the tour isn't, I mean, it's not a bunch of par 70s anymore. They're like par 71s, par 72s. So you get 3 or 4 par 5s where they can take advantage of those. And then they're just not making any bogeys. So 3 or 4 under right there. So it's just
rolling, talking about that and how important it is, you think, to reach par 5s in 2 shots. You think that rolling the ball back in that conversation brings a lot of like perspective to that, to like, you see these guys and they're just on the green in 2, and like they have mini drivers now because it's just easier for them to do that, to where you're rolling the ball back, you're making the course a lot longer than what it's supposed to be. Like, you think
they'll gain the distance somewhere else. I mean, that's what everybody's arguing is they're going to find a way to hit the ball. If the ball gets rolled back, the equipment's going to change. They're in the next. They roll the ball back, like, I don't know when it's going to be. Let's say they roll back next year. And in 10 years, they're going to be hitting it close to the same they are now. They're going to find ways. The equipment's there. Like, it's not going to me, it's not going to do anything. They're going to change either their game or the equipment's going to change, and they're going to find that distance back, because we've seen the emphasis, I feel like, back in the 90s. Granted, I wasn't alive a lot, but just looking back on it, looking at stats and everything I've heard, is it was more of a, like, let's keep it in the fairway. Let's hit some greens. Now it's all of so the emphasis was on distance. Once the emphasis became on distance, we realized how powerful being closer to the green is. So that's the goal that everybody's chasing. So whether or not the ball gets rolled back, they're still going to be chasing that distance goal, and they're going to find a way to get it because it's such a point of emphasis now. And I think they've shown stats the last 3 years, like going for the green in 2 on par 5s, you're likely to score like a whole stroke better over a certain amount of time. Like getting closer to the hole, like there's people that'll argue like being short-sighted, blah, 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is, the closer you are to the hole, the percentage of getting close to the hole is higher.
Well,
And I think we're going to be chasing.
I don't think it's going to change it much because the people who have the best driving distance is going to stay that way no matter if the ball is rolled back or not. So you're really not changing. You're not really making the game closer for the wide spectrum of tour players, because if Bryson leads the tour in driving distance, it's going to stay that way with the ball rolled back if everybody's playing that way. But going back to what Brendan said, I mean, we really saw that when Bryson won at Wingfoot, right? The rough was so thick, and everybody was like, you got to hit the fairway. You can't just bomb it down there. And Bryson said, I don't care. I'm just going to hit it as far as I can, be as close as I can. And having that smaller club in.
Yeah, we know a 3-iron versus a wedge out of the rough. Yep. Which one do you rather hit? I mean, if you're just as likely to miss the fairway hitting hybrid or 3-wood because of how tight these fairways are, you might as well just bang it up, driver, and get it closer. So
yeah,
it'd be cool to see. But all right, well, moving on. So like I said, Blake said we got Alex with us here. Before we get into everything else, Alex, why don't you talk to us about what you got going on in your golf game? I know we've had you on before, so people kind of heard your story and everything. So why don't you kind of give them an update on we're almost halfway through the year, kind of what your years look like and what's it's looking like coming up.
And a congrats to making it to the longest day in golf. That's an achievement that most people don't get to make. So you getting there and getting to experience that for another time is extremely awesome. So congrats on that.
And you played with the captain, huh?
Yeah, captain DJ. His wedges are so good. They're like the best. He's insane. He knows exactly.
You Iowa guys just gross.
All right. So you talked, I think, earlier when we talked about the U.S. Open a little bit. We talked about Cam Young, how long he is, and just how long those guys are. Zach Johnson statistically is way low on driving distance. Mm-hmm. Where's he at in comparison to us average Joes?
He actually hits it further than I thought. It just depends on the golf course. If he gets on a firm golf course, he's fine because he hits kind of like a tumbly draw and it just kind of goes forever once it hits the ground. On a softer golf course, he's got zero chance. I mean,
Kevin Kisner effect.
Yeah, but his wedges are so good. Like he could go out there and play well any week, but he's just statistically at a huge disadvantage. But no, thank you, Blake, for bringing up that I made it back to the golf's longest day. It wasn't quite as long this year.
Last year was a long day for you.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as long this year. I wish it was longer because that means I would have been doing something better than I did this year. I wish I had more of an update for you guys on my year, but it just hasn't really gone kind of how I've planned. I've been playing a lot of Monday qualifiers. Haven't made it through any. I wasn't on the podcast before I went or after I went to Chile. That was before.
Yep. They don't know about Chile.
Yeah, Chile saw how the alternate system works. I had status. Nobody wanted to go to Chile because it's so damn far. So people kept dropping out. I'm looking at the list. I keep moving up the list. And it's Monday before the event, which starts on Thursday. I'm still in Omaha. And then I find out I'm in on Monday. And I fly out on Tuesday morning and I find out I'm in on Sunday. I fly out Monday morning and I get there on Tuesday morning. And I get there and I'm like, okay, there's a Wednesday pro-am. So I have to play a practice round. I'm there at Tuesday morning. So I have to play in the afternoon. I'm like, I'm so tired. So I went to the hotel. I was like, I got to take a nap. I got to get up by 12 o'clock and go play. By the time I woke up, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, oh shit. So I got up. I Ubered everywhere, and there are no rules on the streets in Chile. So, we almost died 17 times. And something pretty cool. I had Chili's twice in Chile. So that's kind of a cool little thing. But yeah, it was good. Didn't play great. Kind of a tough travel and everything, but yeah, just been grinding the Mondays.
And for those listening, that was a Corn Ferry Tour event that he was playing in. I don't know if we said that. So
yeah, but super pumped for Carson playing the U.S. Open.
Yeah, congrats to Carson as well.
3 out of the last 4 years, one of us has played in the U.S. Open. So hopefully, we can keep doing that, and hopefully we don't go through that anymore.
Call you the Kelsey brothers, but one of them's used Jason, one of them's used Travis. So
thanks, Blake. Appreciate that.
Do the math as is.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah. But it's been a good year. I've definitely struggled a little bit this year than last year, but game's actually turning around a little bit. I played in a Corn Ferry Monday today. Didn't play great, but going through a bit of a swing change and very hopeful for the rest of the year.
So speaking about this Corn Ferry, I think this kind of ties into your headline a little bit.
Yeah.
Why don't we just jump into that? Because wouldn't hate getting to dumb golf holes.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like two things for dumb golf holes. One is blind tee shots, for sure, where like you hit over a hill and you can't see where your ball goes, can't see if it goes into a hazard or not, blah blah blah. That's one, and another one is having to hit irons off of par fives off the tee. That is just a big pet peeve of mine, especially when it's one you can reach. If you're ballsy enough to hit driver,
I was gonna say you don't have to hit iron off that tee.
yeah. Well, I'm sure you hit driver. That's why you're on the Tip It Out podcast, Brandon.
Oh no, I hit driver, but it's still in the layup area where you guys are hitting iron.
No, I hit iron today, and then I hit another iron to lay up, and then I hit another iron on the green, and then I made par, and I just wanted to like absolutely take some dynamite and blow the hole up. Like I seriously, like it's just the dumbest thing in the world. And I talked about it all week, and I probably jinxed myself like talking about how bad that hole was, and I'm just like, this is so stupid. But there's a hole at Platteview Golf Club in Omaha that's iron off the tee, iron layup, iron on the green. It's just like, what are we doing here? Like, give us at least if we're gonna hit iron, give us a chance to go for it.
Yeah,
and whatever. But no,
there's zero risk reward. And
the hole he's talking about, it's like there's two separate fairways. So there's a fairway that's here, and then there's a fairway that's way over here, and it's kind of mirrored here the way I'm doing it. But like this is where you lay up, and there's water on each side, and then there's water on this side, and then shit on this side. And it's like fairway all in all, like all the way through is probably 25 yards long or 25 yards wide.
Yeah.
And like, if you do want to hit driver, and I don't know, you guys probably played from the tips, so it's probably
no, we didn't play all the way back.
Okay, so yeah, so like you could like try to lay or hit driver over left, but it's like 280 carry and in a 20-yard wide fairway, and then you got, I don't know, 3 iron or like hybrid in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like literally there is a reward from it, but the risk is literally so high that like you don't hit that perfect on it, you're looking at like 8 or 9.
Yeah, right.
Like it's just a stupid hard hole.
There was a guy today that made 14 on that. And did you see the guy from the Corn Ferry that they posted videos on him? He like Monday qualified, and then his putting stroke, he like sliced the golf ball. Did you guys see that?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he was like leading a Corn Ferry event like a week or two ago, and he seriously slices his putts.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he made 14 on that hole today. So even the best Corn Ferry guys are making 14s on that hole. And I mean, I'm sure he hit it in the water like 4 times, but like it's just insane.
What would Harry Higgs do?
Oh, I'd probably hit driver and then iron on the green and then lift his shirt up.
Lift his shirt up.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? The course I don't know if we said it was Sand Creek Station in Newton, Kansas, which is like 40 minutes from where I live. So that's why I'm familiar with it. But other than hole 10, this is a course I've been trying to get Blake to come play. I'm like, it's kind of a hidden public gem. I really like it. So why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think about the other aspects of the course?
I think it's like one of the better public courses I've ever played. Like honestly, like the layout of the golf course, other than that hole, is like so cool. Like you could get if they had a better clubhouse and maybe a little bit better practice facilities, like people would join there. I mean, that would be a full membership place for sure. I mean, that place is so cool, and it's hard when I hear the winds up. Like when the winds, like usually the wind's blowing out there in the Midwest and stuff, but yeah, it's a great golf course. The par fives are fun. You can play it from a bunch of different tee boxes depending on what kind of skill level you are, and you can just make it fun. But Blake, definitely got to go play it. It's so cool.
It's one of those places that I'm wanting to make a long weekend and go play Prairie Dunes, and definitely step foot on Sand Creek and maybe find.
It's also like a $40 part included, range included type course. Like it's for $40.
I paid $28 last night to play at practice round. It's like insane.
And that's so. I don't know if you knew this going into. I don't know how many times you played it. Maybe just a couple times.
Sand Creek.
Was this first time?
That was the first time.
Okay, so you probably didn't know this, but hole 16, that par 5 right before the short par 3.
Yeah.
So that green is actually a replica of the road hole green.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I was wondering that. Like, yeah, that's cool.
It's got the kind of the pop bunker on the front, that's kind of 2-tiered, and then instead of like a drop off in a road,
it's a
and
railroad.
then the brick behind, it's a railroad.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like this isn't a railroad that is abandoned, like trains going through.
It's full function. That's sick.
Yeah, I cussed the train out today for.
And it's honestly, it's a dope match play course too, because they can make a hole 270 yards, and it can be super risk and reward, and it's sick. I've always loved that course. And shout out to actually a guy that plays in our group, is playing in my golf group, in the U.S. Adaptive Open.
Oh, cool.
At Sand Creek this year. He qualified somewhere down in Texas. My dad actually caddied for him and shot like 1 over or something. And he was only qualifying because it was at Sand Creek. So he's got to play that in like July 3rd or 6th or something. So it's kind of cool that, and the U.S. Adaptive Open is like the people that have like disorders or whatever, as far as like limbs gone. And he's got PLS, which is like ALS. So his like muscles are deteriorating and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to watch him golf because he's my dad's age, so he's like 50 some, and like he'll go out and play from the same tees I'm playing from, and he's hitting driver 3-wood into every hole, and you don't realize he's playing that good, and you go out and shoot 73 and he shoots 70 or 69, and you're like, what the fuck? And it takes all your money. So it's just cool to see him play. Like he got to the point where he didn't even take his glove off, because it was so much work to take it off and put it back on because of his muscles and stuff. And then he puts his ball marker in his mouth because it's too much work to get it out of his pocket. So it's like, shout out to him. It's cool to see him do that. But yeah, Sand Station's awesome.
That's awesome. Let's
we kind of talked.
Change scenes a little bit. Noah, what's your headline stand for then? Can I get into that maybe?
Mine is
brought up?
What's that?
I didn't know if it kind of got brought up yet or not.
Not yet. It has to do with the U.S. Open.
Well, it's a good segment to get into the U.S. Open, and let's just do that.
So we can start talking about the U.S. Open. And I guess it kind of got brought up with because it's not going to be what you guys think. 16, you would think about, Tiger Woods is playing again. Is he going to get his 16th major? Not necessarily where I'm going with this one. And I get that it's a really long ways away, but like, Alex was saying, what Scotty's doing is kind of Tiger-esque right now. So mine is 16 is Scotty Scheffler going to get close to 16 majors?
Oh.
And I think he has a legit shot. I think he could go 5 or 6 years of winning 2 majors a year or so.
Wow.
And that gets him to
2
about
years,
12, 14, since he already has 2. So
I mean,
he's plus 300 which is insane. We were all talking about when he was plus 450 to win the Masters.
He's 11-4 odds right now, which is
plus 3 to 1,
phenomenal.
plus 300. And so I personally have Bryson DeChambeau as my favorite this week, which I like him better than I used to. But
his YouTube helps him. I watch his
does.
YouTube, and it's actually
he's just
cool, dude.
It all changed when he got rid of that douchey hat. And
True.
The fact that he doesn't wear that anymore, and that he's not
Okay, no,
being
you
a
can't say
meathead.
that on U.S. Open week at Pinehurst. Shout out to Payne.
Payne.
He is like the only week you can't say that.
So okay.
I
so
can
then
still say it because Bryson DeChambeau grew up with super rich parents and went to SMU, and it's just that typical.
So to
you know,
counter
what I'm
to
talking
counter
about.
that, take the hat away. The hat's fine. How about being a little bitch going under a rope or bitching about ants? That kind of counteracts that, the Bryson-esque of it. I can't get over the ants thing and the rope thing. Those are the two things that like I think about Bryson. It's like, yeah, I like him, but
my sophomore year of high school, when we were playing in districts, we were playing at Lake Maloney in North Platte, maybe the worst course I've ever played in my life. and we had a guy, not on our team, but from North Platte, that called a rules official out to get a ruling about burrowing animal, and actually and it was his home course, so they like let him move it, and then our best golfer that year, Cade McCallum, had like the same thing, and they didn't let him have it, and it was that reminds me of Bryson DeChambeau a little bit because this kid was a douche too.
I forget you played it.
Well, it's good to know you're not salty about it.
Wait, so
It didn't happen to me. I didn't really care.
wait, so are you debating whether the burrowing animal hole should be a drop, or like that you're mad that Cade didn't get the drop too?
Well,
Or was it not burrowing animals?
It was just a pile of dirt because that course is terrible. You know, that's what I was complaining about. I was like, if it was actually burrowing animal, it's like whatever. Like you can take a drop from that, but like a pile of dirt on the worst golf course you've ever played, it's not burrowing.
He hits it behind a tree. He's like, this man-made tree, right?
I saw a squirrel go into this.
It's a non-integral part of the course. There's a woodpecker. It's burrowing through the tree.
There is maggots in this tree. I know.
It was awful.
A fun little like mesh between playing in high school and Newton. There's a course that is closed now in North Newton, Kansas. It's like as you leave the interstate heading north, Alex. It's just off the interstate. It's closed now. And when I played it in high school, it was so overgrown that, well, I guess not overgrown. It was such bad shape that we aimed for the rough because at least you could hit off grass. Because if you hit it in the middle of the fairway, it was straight dirt. And it was just weeds intertwined with the dirt. And so you aimed for the rough so you could find your ball. You would hit it down the middle of the fairway and not be able to find your ball because it's sitting under like weeds, or you find it and it's in a patch of dirt. It was so bad. It closed like 2 years after I played it. But
wait, so where? Because I literally made that drive today, so I'm trying to think. Do you know where the Holiday Inn is?
No, it's literally like.
Sorry, I thought you might have.
As soon as you get like right on the interstate, and it's as soon as you like get out of Newton, it's technically a different town called North Newton. Yeah, it's like Hutch. We have a Hutch and a South Hutch. It's technically different towns, but they're the same. So it's just on the north side there.
It's called a suburb.
So is that like Omaha, and South Omaha? Like that's not a different Omaha.
No, it's actually it has its own town. Like it's legit completely different. Like it's
so like an Omaha and a Papillion.
Yeah, I'm saying because it's called North, whatever. But yeah, it was just a fucking goat track. But I'll touch on my headline too because we kind of talked about a little bit at the U.S. Open. But between Carson and Alex, I mean, from a guy that isn't great at golf, it's just like that's for me kind of like the one thing in life I'd love to do is get to that longest day in golf or ultimately get to some sort of PGA Tour tournament. So in all reality, I mean, you guys, I mean, you may look at it as, wow, I played really bad, but really just embrace it because, for some of us, it's just like that's the goal. That's our ultimate goal. And you guys are able to do that year in and year out. So that's awesome. So congrats to you guys for that. But just it's kind of what dreams are made of. And Carson's been there before, but it's got to be a dream come true every time you get the opportunity. So
I agree. I mean, yeah, it's I played golf competitively for my entire life now, and I just feel like when I don't make it there, it's kind of like not successful. But when you bring it up like that, I kind of have to like humble myself down a little bit and just realize that it is really cool, and people would kill to be in my position, whether that's anything in life. I mean, it doesn't even have to be golf. People are just striving to be where someone is and where that person is. It's just it's never enough for that person that's up there. So to hear that, it's pretty cool. So thank you for saying.
Yeah, definitely awesome. Like the
Kind of sad because I thought Brendan was going to say he had a dream about me, but whatever.
Well, that's a
no, that would have
no-brainer,
the word
Noah.
wet in front of it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same perspective as like you think like Danny, Alex. Like you think Danny Woodhead, like dude played pro football, got played to play the greatest or one of the greatest sports in the world is American football. Yeah, for sure. Everybody spends countless hours on Sunday spending countless hours making fantasy teams. Like American football is one of, if not the greatest sport in the game, and he got paid to play it, but yet he still wants to go out there and try to qualify to make a U.S. Open,
Right.
and works his ass off year end now to try to make this tournament. Like,
yeah,
it's so cool. I mean, I love putting on the vest and strapping up, putting Brennan's bag over my shoulders and walking through that in a practice round and during the actual qualifier and just like talking about what we need to do to the point where
it's different golf and it's awesome.
It's different golf, and to the point where his qualifier was in Wichita this year and went up, played practice round, had a really good time. Dude we kind of played with was kind of nuts, but whatever. To like after the actual qualifier wasn't our day, but like we went through it the same motions the entire time. I sped my ass home to get to men's league that night and missed the first 3 holes, but like couldn't get myself out of that zone of like, I need to hit it here. Like, this is the number. What do I want to do here? What type of swing do I want to, like,
yeah,
let's perfect what we need to do. And it's like getting into that mindset it just takes you into a whole different game. And it's crazy to think about, like, why don't I do that every Monday night when I have league? And it's only like rare. It's crazy. But yeah,
hard to lock in like that for something that's not super important, I guess, on that tier, I guess. But that's a good segue. I was going to just bring up is Alex, you were already there last year. We kind of talked about the mindset, and mindset goes with preparation. Why don't you just walk through us, kind of what a week leading up to the U.S. Open looks like, what Carson might be doing or what he's told you he's doing, this week and what he's seeing. What does the preparation, here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday look like for a U.S. Open?
I think something that we both learned from playing in a U.S. Open, in tour events and Corn Ferry events is, the first times we ever played in those, you just want to be out there and you just want to take it all in as much as you can, and just you just kind of wear yourself out. You want to be out there. You want to play 18 holes every single day, and because it's a sweet course. 2, there's fans out there, and you just feel it's a feel good. You feel good about yourself. But I think Carson's taken a little bit different approach, and something that we've definitely talked about is just maybe playing 9 holes one day, 9 holes the other day, resting one day and maybe practicing and not wearing yourself out as much. And we both kind of think of it now as like, what's the best way we can put ourselves, like what's the what can give us the best opportunity to perform at our best. And so I think, I mean, he played today. I think he only played 9 holes. At the U.S. Open, it's kind of a funny thing, that a cool thing that they do is you have to sign up for your tee times for the practice rounds. So when you go into like the player area, you can see who's playing when. And so like last year, I signed up to play in practice rounds with like Bryson, and like I showed up to the tee and like he didn't show up, and like some of the guys, like if they see someone else is playing with you, they'll just change their tee time or not. But Tiger was playing at 7 a.m. this morning with Ricky, Jordan, and JT, and Carson's like signed up for the 7:20 tee time. So he sent me a video of him hitting on the range 1 spot away from Tiger this morning. So that was pretty cool. But you have to do something like that. I mean, he's a huge Tiger fan. I'm sure everyone here is kind of Tiger fans.
Gotta be like obviously once in a lifetime opportunity. Like that's got to be just only if select few people can say that they hit range balls next to Tiger. So that's pretty sick.
But it's such a quick turnaround from sectionals, from golf's longest day, that like, which is a good thing, because obviously if you make it through that, you're playing pretty well. So it's you're right into it. But you're still kind of worn out, and you're still kind of on a high, and you just think it's the coolest thing ever. You're playing the U.S. Open, when in reality, like, it's cool when you play well. Like, and after the week, Carson will say it'll be a success if he plays well. You know, it's not the success just making it there at this point. So whatever he can do to play well for his preparation, keep himself healthy and fresh for the week is what he's going to do.
Sneaky one and done pick, boys.
You can bet $100 to win $300,000 for Carson Schaake this week, fellas.
That's so crazy. So I guess like
seeing my name on one of those betting slips would just be good enough for me.
Yeah,
I don't care what the odds are.
You buy it for sure. So reiterating that and making it a little bit more about Alex. So
Thanks,
like with LACC and like that being not a Pinehurst number 2.
Yeah.
Just the knowledge of the course not being known to every single man that's a golf fan in the world. Like, what is it, the preparation, and seeing like how much of a different type US Open that course was compared to others? Like, what is yours? And like the videos that you had sent me last year and everything, and like the starstruckness definitely that you had just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
What is like going back and you changing something about that and doing something a little bit different? What is it that you wish that you could tell yourself, say, if you were in Carson's shoes this year?
Yeah, I actually talked about this with my family tonight. Don't be scared. It's you know, you get out there and you want to play so well. You want to play all 4 days that you kind of play defensive in a way, and you're just kind of there to make the cut, and you're there to make pars and stuff like that, and just stay in it and not embarrass yourself, which is stupid to say out loud, because you guys are probably thinking like it's just not embarrassing no matter how you play. But to us, in our minds, it's like, man, I really want to play well. I feel like I'm letting people down. But I would say my biggest advice for him, and the biggest advice I could tell myself from last year, just play golf. Like you're good enough to be there. You've been there twice. I've been there. Play your game. Let it rip. Like, don't be scared. Don't be tentative. Have a game plan. Stick to your game plan when it gets off, when your game plan doesn't quite work out like it does on a hole. Get back in position, execute your game plan, and don't be afraid to play well. Like it's just a golf course. Like, there's nothing scary about it. It's just a land, like an area of grass that's cut out for a golf course, and it's not supposed to be there to scare you. It's just there for you to play, and everyone's got to play it the same. So you just got to make your mindset to where you're going to play well.
Yeah. So like talking about that and just like the not scared and like don't embarrass yourself, like the relationship that you and I have built within the last like year. And I mean, we talked quite a bit at that time last year, more so than like now anyways, but like talking in the relationship that we had, and like sending Snapchats of you putting with Jordan on a practice screen and you playing, and like playing with, it was Cam Young, I think you played with, and was it Russell? No, was it Russell Henley?
Yeah.
And then like just you playing with those guys and like everything, and then me not like talking to Brendan and like me talking to like some other people and like them just knowing like your name and who you were. The amount of Snapchats that I got when they featured you on the 2-hole run, dude, was just crazy. And it's like, dude, that's Alex. Like, that's so sick. And you just stick one and like just be like, you didn't know you were on TV at that time or anything like that, but like not embarrassing yourself. Like, you don't know what's going to happen or when you're going to get viewed or when you're going to get showed. It's just, it's cool to see. So like, me playing around the golf with like Carson, like that's the one time like I've met Carson, right? So it's like it'll still be cool to see him walking on Pinehurst, and not to make it about Carson right now, but like it'll be super super cool because Pinehurst is like, you look at Brennan's Hill, that is the Pinehurst number 2 is the course that I dream of playing.
Yeah,
like that is a course that if I don't have to play, like that is the number 1 top tier course that I want to go to and I want to step foot on, and I want to just want to launch one. Like,
for sure. There's a different aura around Pinehurst than last year, and honestly, probably any U.S. Open anywhere, maybe Pebble, but
it's crazy the amount of just people talk about Pinehurst. They're like Pinehurst number 2. It's just it's sick. So it is cool, and I know he's your brother, and like I think it's super awesome that especially you guys with the Schaake name have this going for you guys. So
yeah,
I wouldn't take embarrassing and make that a word, because what you guys have done is pretty awesome. So
thank you. Thanks.
I'm gonna keep rambling, going off my headline, talking about this being the U.S. Open and being Pinehurst and the course I dream of playing, but it also being Father's Day weekend, and having my daughter and making it like this is a weekend that I absolutely love, as well as Mother's Day, making it about my wife and my daughter and that, and who made us parents, but also being College World Series. Huge college baseball fan. Love Illinois, Nebraska. They sucked in the regionals. It is what it is, but this is also a weekend that I've also just always loved with the college baseball. So top tier weekend for sure. 101. Super, super cool. And be able to sit on my ass and maybe watch some playoff hockey. If Celtics don't sweep, it'll be some NBA basketball and then college baseball and the U.S. Open. So super, super jam-packed weekend of just awesomeness. So
yeah, no, it's exciting for sure. All right, let's kind of lead into the Pinehurst thing. I mean, you talked about how great it is. Let's talk about not only how great it is, but let's talk about how tough it's supposed to play this week.
It doesn't matter when Scotty's going to stick it within 5 feet of every single hole. It's just gross.
So one thing, like, let's just kind of touch on it, like, and I think we could probably go into all of our parlay stuff, you know, off air or whatever, but let's just kind of touch on, like, you know, a sneaky pick. Obviously, you know, Scotty's a favorite. You know, the top tier guys, but like, who's a guy, you know, you see that, like we saw Michael Block last year in the PGA, like when it becomes a grind fest, you know, you see these people kind of rise, you know, like they can't keep up with birdies, but they can keep up with pars. So who might be a sneaky pick you see, or who you see could struggle? Kind of what are your thoughts about different guys this week?
Noah?
I hate to bring it up, honestly, because I don't have a lot of faith in him. But his game, I feel like, suits this place pretty well. But I guess I'll take Gary Woodland as my little sleeper pick. With Pinehurst being so such a course where you have to hit the fairway, very hard. Everything's gonna run out, stuff like that. Gary is the master at keeping the ball low. Honestly, like I think it's Tiger and then him when it comes to hitting stingers. His is pretty sweet. So I think if he can play within himself and use that shot to his advantage, I think he could be right there. I get a little worried about him making those big numbers.
Yeah,
he likes to do that. But if he can keep the ball in the fairway, which I think this course sets up for him to do, then I think he could maybe not contend or win, but at least be in that top 20, 25-ish range. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaky pick that I have based on raw storyline and emotion. So I believe Adam Scott was in your longest day of golf in your final qualifying. Bogey's the last hole to miss out on the playoff. Or no, he got in the playoff. That's right. But bogeyed to get, he would have got in if he didn't bogey the last. But I think, what's his nuts? The other guy from Australia also bogeyed. Anyway,
Cam Davis.
Yeah, Cam Davis. But 93rd major in a row. He gets in. Based on storyline alone, not only is it his 93rd, the only reason he got in, God rest his soul, is because Grayson Murray is no longer with us. So he was in because of that. Not maybe directly, but just based on raw storyline. Don't count Adam Scott counting his blessings, knowing where he's at this week. And obviously, great ball striker. Could be a little sneaky pick there. You know how everybody rises to the occasion when emotion's involved. So
Yeah,
you never know.
Super sad story too. So I don't like getting into those, but I'll go off of. I don't think that it's actually like a coming out because I think he's already kind of come out. But I think Ludwig, like I think this is kind of like his statement major where.
Oh yeah, he already came out as gay. Yeah, for sure.
It is the month. Anyways, so yeah.
Okay.
I think that old Ludwig, I guess he's gay, is going.
Don't quote me on that. Don't fact check me on that.
Prove it, bitch. I think this is gonna be the one that he kind of tallies and top 5, but if not win, if Scotty for some reason ends up going to jail again. That's just what happened. I don't know. I think Ludwig's one of those sneaky guys that he's going to rack up majors. I think he's going to be, him and Colin are going to be very similar to games and stuff like that. So,
I don't watch much live golf, to be fair.
What?
But
you don't?
But who won the U.S. Open? Who won the U.S. Open last time is at Pinehurst? You remember? It was Martin Keimer. And Martin Keimer was leading the Live Golf League this week at one point.
Yeah, gross.
In the field, I'm going to take Martin Keimer top 10 for sure.
Okay,
and guys.
Top 10
parlay pick.
Top 10.
All of our picks. All of our picks that we just said top 25. Sneaky parlay.
Top 10?
Top 10 Martin Keimer. Good vibes. Playing well. He's back in the field. But I'm also going to go Jordan Spieth is hurt. He is not playing well. I do not think Spieth plays well at all.
Okay.
Oh. You would go not playing well?
Yeah. I love Jordan Spieth is my favorite golfer. Probably, well, besides Tiger. That's when you know you're the GOAT. You can say besides Tiger, obviously. Yeah. But,
yeah. That's already know you're God.
Spieth's got no chance. He's driving it well because he's got a wrist issue. He's driving it well because that's not the problem. But those super grainy lies around the greens are going to cause some problems for him, I think. And his lack of iron play this year is not going to be good. So I think that he might struggle. I really hope he doesn't, but I think he struggles.
So your Martin Keimer pick, that's 750 to 1. He's the lowest right now that you can get odds off of.
Oh yeah.
Like the worst.
What do you mean?
50 to 1 for what?
That you can on your thing?
On 750 to 1 on the CBS Golf odds maker right now.
Yeah, top 20.
Carson Schaake is 500 to 1. So Martin Keimer's 750 to 1. Your brother is 250 more
to get top 10.
No, just to win.
Carson is not 200, 500 to 1.
5. That's I will if I could share my screen, I'd win. That's what it says right here. 501 Carson Schaake.
Carson's like
Martin
He's got some good practice now.
Martin Keimer,
No, that
700.
is so wrong. That is so wrong.
Bro. Okay, let me read what it says at the top.
No,
US
that's
Open
gotta be like,
$100
You-
isn't going to get him as much.
that's butt crack sports.
The only person.
No free shout outs.
Let me reiterate this. The only person that's not in 501 is Martin Keimer, which is 750. I'll send you a picture of it right now.
I don't know what you're looking at. Carson Schaake on DraftKings is 500 plus 500,000.
Yeah, get out of here, Blake.
I'm showing you what exactly I'm looking at.
Martin
right
Keimer to finish top 10 is wow, I went so far. To finish top 10 is plus 1,500.
now. Okay, look what I sent you.
This has got to be just a terrible. You're probably what website are you on? Are you on private browsing?
CBS Sports, bro. The only person.
No, that is so. What are you looking
at? The only person. The odds.
Martin Keimer is plus 30,000.
Yeah.
Yes. Who will win and which long shots will stun the golfing world? Martin Keimer's the worst. I mean, good pick. That's a great odds pick. Great odds pick.
Yours is so wrong. I'm looking at it right now on draft.
Carson to win. I put $5 to win 25,000 and $5.
Yeah. Well,
I'd donate 5. I would donate 5, and when he wins, all 4 of us would fly out and party with him for a little bit.
I don't need to fly. It's like 4 hours to where I'm.
Okay, well then you drive.
No, you'll be too drunk, and then you'll have to fly anyway.
We'll fly into your guys'.
I'll fly private. I'll get one of my members to fly me down there.
TikTok shout out: helicopter or airplane.
I think Carson, or was it Carson or Alex? One of you responded to that poll.
Alex did.
Was it Alex?
Wait, which one?
The helicopter airplane one coming in on a golf course.
I did. I said helicopter, or I said airplane.
I said helicopter.
I'm never getting in a helicopter in my entire life.
Yeah, that's why I said helicopters.
Helicopters are a lot safer.
Thanks, no.
Okay, Kobe.
Being around. Hey, we've had some pretty bad accidents.
You guys didn't know I took some major drugs in college to fly on an airplane. Once. It was
No way.
Okay, you're right. I'm wrong.
Sorry.
What about Francesco Molinari?
$5
to win $7,505.
What is his odds on my thing that apparently is wrong? Because
It's like
probably 10 to 1.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, let's just kind of wrap up our U.S. Open preview here, and like I said, maybe we can do some of the parlay stuff offline, and we'll share it with the world.
Yeah, let's
when
do
we
it.
Decide, but
let's. Okay.
So, final thoughts here. U.S. Open. What are you gonna love to see? What's gonna kind of maybe rub you the wrong way if you kind of see some things in the past? I know there's one for me, but what are you excited to see? And so forth. Just kind of final preview.
I want to see people de-green the greens putting. I want to see it be astronomically tough. I want the greens to bully people, and I want to see low score beneath 500. I want to be the lowest. I want it to be bully you tough, kick your ass, make you cry, fun to watch.
Yeah, if we get another comment from one of the top guys, like what was that, Schaake, about how like
we lost the course.
How you could hit, or what they say, like even if you hit a good golf shot, it still doesn't end up.
Hitting a good golf shot and hitting a golf shot where you need to hit it are two completely different things. And I think with the size of the greens that Pinehurst number 2 has and the way that those crown and the way that they can play, I think it's crazy. The other thing I like seeing in these US Open things is people using like on course caddies. I love that to get more of like sense of not having your caddy and knowing a yardage, but having someone that knows the course and that's going to benefit you in knowing the course.
I think I'm excited to see how the course changes throughout the week. I think 3 of the days are like projected at like real feel 110, so I think it's gonna get baked out. Especially sitting down there and like in the dunes, it's just gonna be so hot, and so I'm excited for that. I hope, like Blake said, I hope like around even par wins this golf tournament. What I really love is how they like had the Memorial this week, which was super hard, and like it was such a fun golf tournament to watch. And now they have the U.S. Open, which should play very similar, probably even harder. And so, few guys under par would make my week.
Yeah,
yeah, it's fun to watch those guys struggle for like when they get down to the final stretch. It's good to know, like, and I said this before, it's good to know that there is a chance they make bogey. Right. Or double or triple. Like seeing that chance is what keeps us like locked in our seats till the end. You know, some of these golf tournaments, you see a 2-shot lead with 3 to play and you write it in the books. Like it's done. Like he could hit the worst shots of his life and still go 2 over through 3 and win. But like in this, like they could hit some really good shots and go 2 over through 3 and like really struggle. So it'd be fun to watch that. I'd like to see how they respond to just problems that they run into. And, you know, you see some guys crumble, you know, and you see guys blame the course, right? I mean, we saw that at Chambers Bay where everybody was just pissed off at the course. And it's like, everybody's got to play it. I mean, yeah, it may not be fair, it may suck ass, but like everybody's got to play it. And, you know, I don't remember who made the quote, but it may have been Nicholas or whatever, but you step on the range on Thursday or Wednesday or whatever, and he hears people complaining. He already knows he doesn't have to beat them. They've already beat themselves. So it'd be fun to see how people respond and who is mentally tough enough to outlast the golf course and not the other players.
Maybe that's what I'm looking forward to. Maybe we'll get Phil to putt one off the green and then just hit it while it's going off the green and just walk off the golf course. That would make my week.
One that would be sick is a putted off the putting green, take an unplayable and putt it again. That's a rare occurrence. But I've seen it happen, or I've heard of it happening. I've heard a story of it happening. A guy had like a 3-footer, hard lip out, goes like 60 yards off the green. And he's like, I can't hit this closer than 3 feet. So he takes the unplayable and taps it in and makes whatever. But it's fun to see those guys kind of take advantage of the rules sometimes, and that would be a rare occurrence to see. So,
Noah's brain is going.
It's going.
He's like, what?
No, I saw your golf swing. It looks pretty good.
It's a work in progress. It's those were from last year, but I'm playing pretty good right now. I shot 2 under the other day, which is good for me. But I wanna actually get back into playing tournament golf because now that I'm PGA, I'll have easier access to section events and playing a couple of like assistant championships and stuff. And being in the Carolina section, it's the biggest section. You get a lot of really good players.
Good golf courses too.
Yeah, one section event that I'm looking at playing is at Country Club of Charleston.
Nice.
I've heard that one's a really good one. But we have connections. Our head pro does all over the place. So hopefully I can play a lot of good ones. I love North Carolina and South Carolina golf.
So it's my favorite.
It's Mecca.
Really good. Just being around a lot of them. It's tough for us to get up because it's such a big section. A lot of our events are down in South Carolina, and that's really far for us, and especially up in the mountains. Like this is our go time. Getting out to play in these when other people, in Pinehurst or in South Carolina, they're slow right now, so they can play a lot of those. But no,
Nice.
I'm gonna try to grind, but
I'm going on my bachelor party in Charleston, so should I go?
yeah.
Should I go play that golf course?
You should.
It's pretty good.
I haven't played there yet, but I've heard good things. You should come up and play with me if you get an extra day.
I'll be pretty. Happy.
There's a lot of good golf courses around here that I can get you on. But,
fair enough. We were thinking about going up to Kiowa one day.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of good places around there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, I mean, U.S. Open week, top tier weekend. Blake Skolot, and he is not wrong. So look forward to watching golf this week. If you guys are listening to this, click that little star button on the PGA Tour app next to a guy named Carson Schaake and follow along with him. Be pretty sick to watch him play this week, and look forward to Alex being able to play in maybe some more of these throughout the years, and we'll definitely keep having him on, and it's fun to have him on. So Alex, thanks for coming out, and obviously from all of the Tip It Out family, give him some good luck from us.
Yeah. Also, thank you to Southern Hills for sponsoring us and keeping merch in shop. Super cool place. Love being a member out there. It's one of my favorite places to ever be. It's a place to ask you some questions off the tee box and has some firm greens. So super cool pack, and love them being a part of the TIO brand.
Yeah, we'll have a little podcast with them sometime this year. Got to work some things out, but at least Blake and I will be there. Well, at least Blake will be there. Hopefully I'll be there for one, and we'll have those guys on, and shout out to them. So thanks, guys. Look forward to the week.